Hi, I'm Keith McEvoy, CEO of Success at Works and founder of SuperCharge Academy. And today we're actually going to look at one of the questions I get asked a lot. And I know you guys struggle with this one too. I struggled with this as a manager. And it's all around, how do you set team goals that absolutely rock? Because we know it's important. We know that when the team lines up and everyone in that team is focused and aligned to actually doing something, that performance just skyrockets. But the problem we have is the usual dilemma when you're trying to set goals for multiple people. And to explain that, let's have a quick look at how an organization typically works. So you have up the top of the organization, goals are really easy up here. There's basically just 3 goals, right? Simple, it's profit, yeah, cash, and reputation. So when your CEO is trying to tell you what a difficult life he has or she has, no, that's so easy. How much money do we have to make? How much cash do I have to have in the bank so I can pay debts and pay salaries, things like that? And how do I do it in such a way that customers will keep coming back to me and will have a good name and will be socially responsible and all of that? That's really it. Here's where it starts getting complex, because he starts cascading these down, yeah? So your managers gets their goal, and their goal is, well, if you're in HR, it's make people at work more productive or happier, or make sure we don't get sued, okay? And then that gets cascaded down further to this manager, your manager's manager. And then it gets cascaded down to your boss. And now your boss cascades it down to you. And now you have to cascade down something meaningful to your team. So the typical problem that you have to face is, how do you convert what you've been given, which is supposed to link to profit, cash and reputation, and how do you convert it down here for Joe Bloggs, who's a member of your team, typing away on a keyboard? Because actually, in his view, there's loads of things that could be happening. How fast is he going? How quickly does he get into work? How happy is he at work? All of those type of individual metrics and measures that are, to him, that's what his life is around. Because if you were to say, listen, Joe, I need you to get $1 billion profit. He's just going to look at you and go, listen, Keith, you're just mad here, right? It means nothing to me. So our challenge as managers is to somehow link the 10 or 20 things that Joe is doing through to profit, cash, and reputation. But here's the real twist in it. We need to do it in such a way that we create a set of very clear metrics that are just here related to you and your team. And that is the first thing we're going to look at is you need to create focus and focus metrics. So what does that sort of look like? Well, so you might have Joe, and you've got Alice here as well, and you've got all your other team members. And if they're working in say a call center, for example, Alice might be on the phones, Joe is running projects and stuff for you. Jack is actually IT related, fixing the software problems. This person looks after a different market, so they've got language capabilities. So they're all part of your team, but all doing very different things. So if you said to Joe, listen, you're the IT guy, I need you to answer calls within 5 seconds. It's got nothing to do with me. That's Alice's job, yeah? So you start getting into difficulty as you get down to the level. But here's the important thing. If you can actually figure out a way and a set of metrics that lifts everyone from their transactional level back up to what your team is supposed to do, bingo. So what does that look like? So let's take the call center example. So all of these guys, they're all running around doing their own individual jobs in the weeds, in the details. But what are they trying to do? And again, think back to up here again. Really, it boils down to a few simple things. One is they're trying to keep customers satisfied. Yeah? The second thing they're trying to do is keep the employees satisfied. Yeah? Very important as a team. You bet it is. You bet it is. And the third thing is, I'm sure there are budgets and stuff like that. So it's to make sure you keep it in budget. Okay, so you don't spend more than you have. Can you get a team to agree to these things? Yeah, of course you can. And in a call center environment, you can say even to the IT guy listen, customer satisfaction is really important. The IT guy, because we're all clever people, including all your team, the IT guy go, well, how does what I do impact customer satisfaction? I need the servers always to be operational, never to go down. You say to Alice, customer satisfaction, really important. And Alice goes, I know what to do. I need to answer calls within 3 seconds or whatever it is, yeah? You say to Bill, who's running a special project, customer satisfaction is really important. And Bill goes, that means I need to bring this in 2 months rather than 3 months. So when you set a set of team goals, you need to always be thinking they need to be general enough that every one of your teams can go and figure out how what they do interacts with that. And you take employee satisfaction, the same thing. Bill implementing his project, employee satisfaction. How do I make sure this doesn't go wrong for Alice? Yeah? I don't want to really annoy her. Alice, running all these things, how do I make the work enjoyable for the 10 people I have answering phones all day and every day? Yeah? So everything boils down to it. And where the mistake most people make is they take Alice's answer calls within 3 seconds and they leave that with her. They never go and make this important step, which is a team set of objectives. And what that does is that means the team stops being aligned and stops being focused. And what you have then is rather than have just 3 sets of objectives, you have Alice's metrics, you have Bill's. So as a team, you might have 20, 30, 40 different metrics that you're trying to manage, which creates all sorts of chaos confusion. Get rid of that confusion. Figure out that only 2 to 3 really important metrics that you're going to be able to track as a team, and that every one of your team members is going to figure out how what they do interacts with that. That's the key to delivering really good kick-ass goals. The second thing is that when you start to do this, right, you're not going to get this right first of all. So you need to make sure that you set up a conversation. Yeah? And the conversation is very simple. It's, okay, guys, we're going to focus on customer satisfaction. How are we going to measure that? And they go, I've got an idea. We're going to do it this way. Yep. So you start tracking that. You start tracking your employee satisfaction. You start tracking your budget. And you make sure that everyone on your team can see how the whole team is doing on that. And that gets everyone thinking. They start thinking, hang on a second, I can influence this. Or when I did this 2 weeks ago, I saw the figures change, good or bad. And everyone starts pitching in with new ideas and new ways of doing stuff. And it might be that actually you find out that focusing on the budget or whatever way you've done it is not the ideal way of doing it in a way that your team works. So you get to change and adjust these until you have something that actually works. But you use the feedback from these guys to create and keep aligning those important things. So you always make sure that these are relevant and that everyone can understand exactly how it is, what they do and how it impacts it. So really, really important to keep that conversation going, being open and honest and frank with your team and allowing your team to go and improve the metrics for themselves. So that's how you create team goals that absolutely rock and kick ass. So you need to do this. So what I've shown you how to create the focus metrics and to start that conversation. Your job now is to go back and do that with your team. Because if you can get your team doing that, if you can get your team all excited and driving towards these metrics, that's your career, your team, your life, all improving, and you deserve that. Go and do it.